What is going on to everyone? Good afternoon, good evening, hell, maybe even good morning, good day, wherever the heck you guys may be watching from. But you know, I um I said in the beginning of the year, we still are, in the beginning of the year, right? We're just barely hitting into March, but I said in January that once a month I am going to be coming on and talking about this subject about child molestation, um, because it's not talked about. I don't hear anybody else talking about it. And if somebody does talk about it, they talk about it once and then it just kind of disappears. Everybody just says, like, man, that sucks. That's sad. You know what I mean? All those people that do that stuff, they should just die. And then that's it, man. Everybody just moves on with their life, So it just gets forgotten real quick. The conversation never really sticks around. So I made it a point coming into this year in 2022 to say, you know what, once a month, at least, shoot, I'll probably do it more, but at least once a month, I'm going to be talking about this. Um, you guys have heard my story. I was sexually molested when I was a kid. Um, so this month was kind of crazy. I had a death in the family and everything. And, I was planning on having somebody else on and to talk about this with me. And schedules just didn't line up. And, next thing you know, it's like, damn, man, you know what? We're at the end of the month. So I'm like, okay, so let me do it live. But I got my boy here with me, man. And before I bring him on, let me go ahead and give shout outs to Andres. Henry, I see you definitely wanted to catch this topic. Yeah, Henry, we're definitely going to get into it, man. Too many maniacos. We just had Peeping Tom recording my 20-something-year-old taking a shower. What? Damn. Damn, Ben Garcia. That's wow, dog. What's up, party familia? How you doing, homie? My niece. What? He was recording your niece showering? Wow, man, that's crazy. What's up, Vic? How you doing, Holmes? Denise, how you doing? So anyway, without further ado, let me go ahead and bring in my man, my brother, my boy, Vince. ¿Qué ole, Vince?
Hey, how's it going?
It's going all right, brother. How about yourself? How's it going up with you?
Not too bad, man. Staying busy, I shared my story with you before too. I was also a victim as a child. Uh, Now I take it like I'm a survivor. We're both survivors. We dealt with those situations and we moved on. Although I see that in my life, it has affected me over and over and over again. Um, but I'm making those changes within myself, man, to better myself and move on from that situation. What's up, Andres? How you doing, man?
Yeah, you know what? Hey, well, first of all, before we get into all of that, Vince, man, you are one guy that does stay busy, Holmes. If you're not trucking, you're breeding dogs. If you're not breeding dogs, you're painting bikes, dog. You're painting Harleys, Holmes. Like where do all these traits come from, dog? You're a man of many traits, dog. Serio, man. You can't keep Vince down, homie. He's gonna keep doing things, man. What's up with you,
Hey,
homie?
I think I'm just blessed, bro. Uh, to me, right, it's about fear. That's why we don't try challenges, right? New challenges. But I think I just been blessed. If I have something I want to try to do, I go and do it. You know what I mean? From welding to woodworking, you name it, man. Working on bikes. Yeah, man. It's been a wild ride, bro.
What's up, Wes Carson? How you doing, man? And that's right. Don't forget bad cars. I tell you, man, I'll tell you, man, you ain't gonna stop Vince, man. You take something away from him, he's gonna find something else to do and everything, dog. I just like when you showed me pictures of you painting some Harleys. I'm like, man, this guy is just this Gato does it all, man. That's what's up, man. I That's something I really appreciate that, man, in somebody that just keeps going. It's
Right,
like
right,
this stops for you now. Okay, well, this may stop for me now, but doesn't mean I'm stopping. Maybe just this is stopping, but I'm gonna
right,
move
right,
on to do something else, man. So that's
right.
definitely the way to go in life, man. What's up, Andrew? How you doing, man? So, Vince. So anyway, let me go ahead and just read off a little something right here, okay? Um, Kids that are molested, right? And it's happened to you, Vince. It's happened to myself. Um, a lot of kids also are kidnapped for not just sexual deeds, but apparently most of it is by sexual deeds. If you guys look at RAIN, RAINN, most of it is for sexual purposes, but it's also for slavery and stuff like that, man. But yeah, it's just crazy when I see a lot of these numbers, but at the same time, I don't see any reports on it. It's something that's always kept hush hush. So, Vince, let me ask you this, man. With your family, okay, did you guys ever talk about it once? It
We
was out
never
that.
spoke about it, bro. It was not till I got older. I was already an adult when I finally told my mother about it. It was something that I just didn't talk about, bro. But it always affected me. I can remember being in the army, right? And you got to shower with 100 dudes, right? And just
Mhm.
because you're washing yourself and you glance down, you see somebody's junk, right? You start thinking, "Fuck, am I gay? Am I fucking gay?" You know what I mean? Knowing damn well I'm not gay, bro, but
Mhm.
you always second guess yourself, bro. And those challenges, as far as that's concerned, like I said, I went through therapy and I got through that. But yeah, nobody talked about it. Nobody spoke about it. I didn't say nothing to my mother. And then once I did tell her when she was older, when I was older, I should say, we never went up to the perpetrator and told him, acknowledged that. I was fortunate enough to put some hands on him, but in a different way. You know what I mean? But to get my get backs. But yeah. So we really didn't speak about it. No.
Yeah, that's the thing, man. That I think that I kind of want to put out there more than anything else. It's the whole. It's the same thing with me. It was like we never spoke about it, right? Till this day, I have not spoken to my family about it. They have not spoken to me about it. I went my whole, childhood, teenage years, everything, in my 20s, everything. Never, ever did they once bring it up and say, hey, you know what? You need to talk, we're right here, or let me talk to you about it, or anything like that. Instead, Vince, you know this, man. It just stays bouncing around in your mind. Okay.
All the time.
Yes, it the effect that it has on someone. It changes your life. Your life is not the same anymore, man. You're that's why I tell people, listen, and by the way, it's good you went to therapy, but family, being there, if it happened to someone in your family, it doesn't mean you gotta, keep opening up the wound and hey, let's talk about it. Let me, talk about it so you could relive it. No, but man, I'm telling you, you don't talk to anybody about it. The person themselves, they don't want to go and start sharing that at school or anything like that. And it's just stuck in your mind, man. It's just bouncing all over the place. It takes away your confidence. You're always scared. Man, you're just sheltered in, man.
Right.
It's a terrible feeling, and even thoughts of
It breaks you.
yeah, and even thoughts of not living. If anybody
Right.
knows what I'm talking about, definitely swirls around, man. And Vince, it's been a tough time for you these last few days, man. You
Yeah.
reached out to me, brother, and I'm glad you reached out to me, carnal. Can you just share a little bit on what happened?
Yeah. Exactly. And see those same feelings that which you just spoke on. Uh, all those things. You never want that for anybody, right? You
Mhm.
don't want it for your worst enemy to suffer that, you know. And unfortunately, last week, it was brought to my attention uh, that my grandson experienced the same issue. Um, and it just brought so many bad feelings to me that my poor grandson's gonna have to experience the same things that I experienced, and it kills me, man. Um, I even to today, I'm sitting there and I'm masking up some parts in the back, and just this flood of emotion comes over me, bro. Because I'm like, I feel like my hands are bound, bro, and I can't do nothing. I gotta let the court system do what it's got to do. Um, but I feel for my grandson, man. I feel for my son. What he has to go through, and the part that he has to go through with his boy, my daughter-in-law. You know, my other children. I think about how they're feeling. You know what I mean? And I guess it's just time to. My son brought this to me the other day. He's all, Dad, he was acting up a little bit, but how can I even discipline him? And I go,
Right.
Mijo, I understand. I
Yeah.
understand. But we'll get through this, man. We're gonna get through this. Uh, yeah, it's a bad situation, I was reading because I this last week, I've been reading what makes people do this. Who are the people that do this? You know, most of the time it's family members that do this to us.
Yes.
Very high percentage that it's family member. But the one thing that I did notice is it's about opportunity. These individuals are looking for that opportunity, right? They talk about grooming, but it's most likely opportunity. So in this situation, it wasn't a family member, um, but also wasn't a stranger,
Right.
and that's where that situation is now,
Oh man. You and I talked, and I was like, man, I can't imagine, what you're feeling, because when something happened, it's happened to you, it's happened to me. That's one thing. I don't have any grandkids, man. I'm expecting my first grandchild this summer. Okay, but I can just think of my kids. And it's one thing if that happens to me, but laying hands on them, hey dog, that takes it whoa way to another level. It's like, wow, it's got to be one of the just hardest, roughest things to go through, man. And Vince, I pray for you and your family, brother. And I get exactly what you're just saying right there. It's like, okay, growing up now, how do you discipline him? How do you discipline your child now? That's always going to be in your mind. When he acts
right?
up, he does wrong, and you need to discipline, right?
Oh, most definitely, most
Yeah,
definitely.
kids need to be disciplined, but now that's going to be with you. It's like, okay, like, how do I discipline now? I don't want to break this child, because this child now, that's why I keep saying to everybody, man, these things right here, it changes the person. That's it changes them. It changes them. Okay. I've shared my story, Vince. So have you, man. You're just always scared, man. Just always scared. Like it's looking back at it now, sometimes it pisses me off. It pisses me off that I looked at myself and I'm like, man, I was just scared, man, like a punk, homie. You know what I mean? And like,
No, I know exactly what you mean. I know exactly what you
yeah,
mean.
when we're supposed to be men and all that, and the great the only positive thing about this is that he's got you, he's got his family to be there. Something
Right.
that a lot of us that went through this didn't have. A
You're
lot
right.
of
You're right.
people, had broken homes, and this is what was happening to them as a kid. So they didn't have that family support. Brother, he's got you, he's got your son and his mom and all that, man. So, I feel terrible that this happened to your grandchild. That being said, now that happened, I feel good in the position that he's in because of the family support that's around him, to where he doesn't have to, go through this.
You're right.
Just
Alone.
alone,
Yep.
man. Now let's talk about a little bit, and this is the part that I don't want to blow a fuse here, but this is the part that does kind of get to me. So what happened to the individual, man? You told me his bail, and that just kind of like, man.
Yeah. The guy is currently locked up in a PC dorm here in the county jail. But what I couldn't understand is a $50,000 bail, right? I mean, 50,000, man. It takes $5,000. A bail bondsman will get you out with $1,000 and make the rest in payments. You know what I mean? To me, that's kind of like a slap in the face. What's going to deter these individuals from committing these type of crimes? I think the laws need to be more stringent. I don't know what it's going to take. I think they should be put away forever, man. Because if they done it once, they could possibly do it the second time. And what if the situations were different, where this guy didn't want to have any witnesses of that? What's the next level? You kill a kid,
Right.
That's what most of these people do. They'll say, you know what? I don't want to be busted, man. I don't want nobody to know the secret that I have. And then you end up killing the victim, It's just unfortunate, man. And I think, like I says, I think these laws need to be reformed, and I think they need to be a lot tougher. To know that if you have this sickness and you're going to commit those kind of crimes, you got to know you're going to fucking spend the rest of your life locked up. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Just having to register as a sex offender, what's that? Fucking wear a necklace with a bright light in your chest. You know what I mean? That says, you know what, I'm a sex offender. How about that? But it makes me angry. It makes me sad. It's just hard. All these emotions that I'm trying to process right now. These feelings of past memories that I've had. It's like, man, it's tough, man. It's really tough.
Yeah, for those that don't understand, I'm sure most of you guys do. A lot of you guys are lived a certain life once upon a time. But for those that don't understand, bail, the way it works, you hear $50,000 and it's like, oh, he's got to pony out 50,000. No, it's 10%. So so he just has to pay 5%. And what Vince is talking about is that you could go to bail bonds and pony up a G and then pay the rest in payments. So for this guy to get out, it's not going to be $50,000, not even close to it. That I don't understand it, Vince. I don't understand it, man. I don't understand the laws on this. Okay. Now, I could find some examples where they did throw the book at some of these people. Okay, that is out there. I was doing some research today, and I'm like, okay, some of these people went ahead and did, they got the book thrown at them. But there's way too many, Vince. Way too many where it's very lenient. It's very lenient, man. Guy, rapes a little girl, rapes a little boy, two of them, and 4 years later, he's out. What's he doing now? Vince, I don't get it.
I don't get it.
I don't understand. Just today, um, I watched some trucker channels, and just today they went ahead and convicted some guy, a trucker, right, who took a little girl into his truck and raped her. All
Yeah.
right, how long is this dude gonna get? I don't know, but man, I hope he's put away for a long time, man. You know, this ain't. I don't. Man, I'm getting ready to blow a fuse here, man. I don't get it. I just don't
I don't get it.
understand the way the laws are when these things happen. I do somehow understand it. And the way I understand it is from the outside looking in. There's not a lot of noise being made about this subject. Okay. Rarely anybody talks about it. So if nobody's making noise, well, then, hey, man, they'll just do whatever it is that they do. It's like, okay, well, you know what? Lock this guy up for 4 or 5 years, or girl, shoot, there's a lot of, scandalous hyenas out there too doing this stuff. And then you get out, register as a sex offender or what have you, and, live your life. And like you said, Vince, like you said, okay, what if that person doesn't want witnesses anymore? Now, this person was caught because a kid spoke up, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So the next
It
step,
was and here's the thing, my grandson, he's young, right? And his vocabulary skills aren't that great.
mhm,
But there was a second child that also experienced the same thing along with him, and he's a little bit younger, uh, but he was able to speak and give details exactly what happened. So there was actually two victims,
mhm.
um, and it's like, man, I just don't understand it, man. And like I says, right now, I know it's hard for me. I know it's got to be hard for my boy. And being his parent, it's like you never want nobody to hurt nobody in your family. You'd rather go do it to me, man. Don't do it to them. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
But in this instance, you can't do that. It's just very unfortunate.
So, Denise, it's for so okay. So here we have a guy, okay, that molested 2 kids, gets locked up,
Look,
Can you see
and
you
his
his
get a bill?
bail is
profile?
50,000. And with that, it's reduced to it's 5,000 because it's 10%. And with that, he could go get a bail and pay it in payments after putting up a G. So it's by the perpetrator, Denise. That's the part that I don't get. And now this guy, should he ever get out again, yeah, I think the next level for him would be to say, like, well, uh, kid told on me, so the next time I do it, kid's got to go. And that's a scary thing, man. That's a scary thing. And a lot of these, a lot of these, a lot of these people work around kids. It's uh, it's hard to comprehend that, but a lot of these people do work around kids. So what does this do with like trust issues and leaving your kids at certain places and all that, man? It's yeah, you always worry. I would tell everybody, listen, always, talk to your kids. Talk to them. Talk about how was their day, their teachers. If they go to any, after school program or whatever, talk to them. Talk. Keep conversation going, keep that going. Have them speak about who it is that's around them. you know um Man, it sucks, Vince. It really does, man. And now, what effects today, Vince, do you think are still trickling around with you, brother?
like I said, I've had a lot of thoughts, man, and not good thoughts. You know,
Mm,
uh, I thought I'd like to go commit a crime so I could get locked up, so I could be with this individual. You know what I mean?
right.
I thought about that. Uh, it's just, it just, I feel like, I guess you don't know what the feeling's like unless you've experienced it. Hopefully, nobody will ever have to experience it.
Mm,
You know, it's just, I don't know, I just got all these different thoughts in my head. You know, you just got to let it play out. You know, and see what happens. But my number one thing is the health of my grandson. You know, to make sure that he'll be okay. You know, I want him to be okay. I don't want him to experience the things the thoughts, like you said, that being afraid. You know,
mm,
I know I was afraid of when I was younger. You know, I was afraid of everything. You know,
yeah.
uh, and there was a change in my life where said I'm going to stop being a victim. I'm going to stop being the doormat. You know what I mean? And then I went to the extreme on the other side. You know,
Mm,
now as I've gotten older, uh, I see how I've come back to this side, to the middle now. You know, I'm very passive. I'm a nice guy, willing to help out anybody. You know, um, but I think about those things with him, and hopefully, I'm just gonna have to be there for him. You know, uh,
yeah. Uh, Denise, wow, that damn. Yes, I've said it plenty of times, man. This happens much more than we're led to believe, and because it mainly happens with family members, people aren't willing to talk about it because it's a family issue, and everybody just keeps it, to themselves. But it happens a lot, and it really messes with somebody's mind, somebody's mentality, and how they live their life, and it destroys the childhood, man. I'm not gonna lie. I do have, good, happy memories of when I was a kid. I do. Um, but damn it, man. Just like you said, so many thoughts just bouncing around my head, and just scared a lot. And I as I got older, I got pissed at my younger self, right?
right?
For being like that.
Exactly.
And but now, I found peace, man. I really have. I found peace, and I want to let anybody and everybody know, man. It's kind of cliche. It's like, hey, don't be ashamed, don't be ashamed. It's like, yeah, of course, don't be ashamed and everything. But who wants to say that, they got sexually messed with by a dude, man? You know what I mean?
Right.
That's not what
Right.
that's not that's not really something to come on publicly and really start talking about,
You're right.
right?
You're right.
But
You're right.
if we don't come out and be that bigger person and talk about it, then there could be kids that are out there right now, teenage years, even in their 20s, man, that are still struggling with going through it. And if they see more people talking about it, like, hey, that happened to me too, man. It happened to me
You're
too.
right.
A lot of times it's like, who do I talk to? Who am I going to talk to, man? And it's it's um it's a paralyzing situation for life, but it doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be, man. Vince, you know what? You've come a long way, carnal. I see the person that you are today, man. I think I've come a long way from those incidents happening to you and I. Um, I can definitely say I love life. Um, damn happy to be alive. I love, to me, every day is a blessing. Uh, it's, but I will say, man, this stuff is still definitely out there. And
Right.
if it happens to a family member, man, Vince, brother, like I said, I just pray for you and your family, God.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And then going off of that, so I would say that me and you were survivors, right? But how many? I think about the big picture. How many victims overdose on drugs?
Right.
Living on the streets, uh, all those things. I think it's not really their fault. People that experience what we experienced and aren't success stories, right?
Mhm.
How about those guys? You know, uh, I always think about, even when I see a guy on the street, I think about what if he experienced what I experienced? You know what I mean? What if it's not all his fault? But yeah, so
Yeah, look, man. I've seen dudes, man, vatos, right? Vatos and stuff, man, and I see the type of anger inside of them. And at once upon a time, I never thought this, but looking back at it today, I think a little bit. I scratch my head a little, like, I wonder. I wonder because I see the type of anger that's inside of that person,
right,
and I just kind of think like, I wonder. I wonder if this happened to them when they were a kid, man.
right,
Um, and just looking back at it today, like I said, at that time I didn't really think about it, but looking back at it today, I could think of a few people, and I'm like, I wonder. I wonder if they experienced this. And you're right, Vince. You're right, man. A lot of people that turn to the bottle and drugs and so many other bad things,
exactly,
man, and their life just kind of spiraled out of control, and man, they just faded off, man, and
yeah,
it's definitely, I think of like the movie Forrest Gump, right? Uh, shoot, Forrest Gump. The girl he's in love with, I forgot her name. Uh,
Jenny,
is it Jenny? It is Jenny. It
Jenny,
is
yeah,
Jenny.
Jenny,
Well,
yeah.
if you remember, man, the dad that she had, it didn't show too much in the movie,
You're right,
but it did put it out there that the dad was, sexually abusive to them and all like that. And we see the life that she had, man.
you're right, you're right.
Forrest Gump, he's not all right in the head, but that guy lived, you know, a great life, man. The guy
Yep,
lived, better lives than most sane people. And her
right,
her life was really spiraling out of control, man. And when I saw that movie, when I see that, it has so much meaning to me today, a heck of a lot more than it did before, because I just kind of like ignored it. But I see it now and I'm like, no, yeah, yeah, I get it. Her life became a big mess. And she was in nothing but abusive relationships, looking for the bottle, looking for the drugs, standing on top of buildings, looking like if she's gonna drop down or whatever. And she'd continually go back to these things. Okay.
right.
That is all because of what happened to her when she was a little girl. And yeah, Denise is on here. Yeah, Jenny, that's right, man. That's right.
Yeah,
And you know, there's a lot of people like that today. It's not a movie. There's a lot of people like that today. And they need that help. And I'm just not sure how to reach them, Vince. I
you're
guess is
right,
what I'm trying to say. I don't know how to reach them, Gatana,
you're right, you're right.
because if
Good.
they got it, they got that issue, right? That problem. But on top of it, now they got all kinds of other issues, whether it be addiction or many other bad habits that they themselves are now doing.
You're
Um,
right.
so many other things, man. So I'm not even really sure how to reach them, brother. Let's see, this drug that's going around is really getting these dude animals. Not saying the drug is has to do with my family situation. You know, the people that do this, right? That have this sick fetish. Um, it's always said like, oh, they need to die, they need to burn in hell, but that doesn't do anything, man. It just kind of leaves these guys or girls to just kind of, a lot of them hide in plain sight because you don't know who they are. A
You're
lot of
right.
these people are, pretty much sane, except for that sick fetish that they got. But a lot of these people hold regular jobs. A lot of them have families.
You're right.
Some of them have kids of their own, married, and you know, if you talk to anybody, they're like, "Oh yeah, that's a good person." Come over for barbecues and always willing to
You're
pitch
right.
in and everything. So you don't suspect it. Um,
I will tell you this. So, one thing that I did find out over the weekend about this individual is so my son, I have not that son, another son that I have. He's my youngest son. He's 24, and the perpetrator of the crime. Uh, when my son was about 11 years old, he actually coached his baseball team.
mm,
Yeah, so at that time I wasn't around, so I didn't know the guy back then. But yeah, my son had brought that to my attention. That he actually was coaching baseball, and that he at his parents' property they actually have a baseball diamond out there at their property and stuff. And I was like, wait a minute, this guy might have been doing this shit for years.
yeah,
Uh, but just only acting out when he had the opportunity to, you
mm,
know. And like I was reading a bunch of different information on these type of guys, and it talked about the grooming process, right? And then it talked about the actual crime and who the crimes are committed by, and it also takes opportunity. So if we don't give these guys an opportunity with our children, with their grandchildren, the crimes can't happen. You know what I mean? Some things you can't control. Especially if somebody's trying to do that. There's only so much we can do. You know, we try to protect our kids with everything we got, right?
yeah,
But
yeah,
sometimes
definitely.
situations are created. You know,
Yeah, broken homes and all that stuff, man. I'm pretty sure they look at that when I was for me, it was a neighbor, right? And an opportunist because yeah, everything wasn't all good in the home, and we were outside and he was kind of like this older cool guy. He wore his hat backwards and it's just an older guy. I was a little kid. I was like 4 or 5 years old or something like that, and it was just like, all right, cool. We just treated me good and everything. It's like, yeah, yeah, I'm cool because I'm hanging out with an older kid. Like an older guy. To
right?
me, he was older. I don't know, he was like 19 or something. I got no idea. And yeah, there you go. Denise, yes, that's another thing that we should definitely touch on. Um, some of the people that do this, they went through it themselves.
Yep.
Um, they were sexually molested or abused or something of that sort. And now they're repeating that. Now they're doing it. They got that sick fetish now. Um,
Right.
man, I'm glad none of that ever, went through my mind. Um, but yes, yes, there are studies that people that people that were, that went through this as a child, a high percentage of the people that do this, that was their childhood. That's what they went through. So
Yeah.
again,
Also, if I can interject on that,
yeah,
I know what you're saying about that too, right? And I remember I've had stepkids in the past, right? But
mhm,
because it happened to me, I'm always protecting myself, right? No, I'm not going to take your daughter a bath. You know what I mean? No, I don't want to be alone
Yes.
with your daughter, because I don't ever want anybody to say that about me, right? Because that's behind
Yeah.
always on my head because of the
Yeah.
fact that it happened to me. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? So that's the flip side of it, right? You
Mhm.
can't really love your stepchildren, right? Because you're always thinking, I don't want them to ever think that, because you think of what happened to you, you know? Um, yeah, so that's on the
Man,
flip side of that.
you know what, Vince, man, that is 100% true, man. I was always cautious about being around kids when there was no one else around. I'm like, no, I'm not, because that was always on my mind. I'm like, I don't want anybody to say anything, or I didn't even want it to be a thought for anybody
You're
to
right.
think something like that. So I always, just like you, Vince, man, I'm glad you brought that up, brother. I was always like, no, no. I coached a lot of the kids' sports and everything.
Right.
And when it was time, like, when they're little kids, right? It was like, oh, it's time to go to the restroom. It's like, okay, I mean, I'm not. What do you want me to do? And it's
Right.
like,
Right.
oh, coach, well, you have to walk them to the restroom, and I'm like, okay, I'm not going in there. I'm
Yeah.
not going in the restroom, I'm standing like a good freaking 15, 20 feet away from the door, just making sure
I'll
they
watch.
don't.
I'll watch from here. Yeah, I get you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
exactly.
Exactly. There was
Exactly.
no way, Vince, I was putting myself in any of that position, man. That was constantly in
Exactly.
my head, man. Well, I'm glad you brought
Yep.
that up, man. I don't think I would have thought of that. But yes, definitely, even to this day.
Yep.
Even to
Exactly.
this day.
You're right. You're
Yeah,
right.
I got,
It's funny. It's my son will say, "Dad, could you watch my daughter for a little bit?" I say, "Yeah, but bring her like around 3:30 because that's when my wife gets home, right? Because I don't want to be
right,
here by myself, and she's my granddaughter. I love her. I want to, you know what I mean?
right,
But
right.
I just don't want, just that guard that we have because what happened to us. You know what I mean?
Let me see. Denise says, yes, I used to put my daughter in the shower with her dad. That was the normal thing, but stopped fast. Not that I don't trust her dad, but yeah. Yeah, no, yeah, that was big with me too, man. I was like, no,
Yep.
I even told my beautiful crazy loca wife, right? I told her like, hey, I don't want to be alone with your daughter or anything like that. It's just I won't feel very uncomfortable. I don't want to be I just don't want to be in that situation, man. I would feel very uncomfortable, brother.
You're right.
So,
Yep.
man,
Exactly.
I'm glad you brought that up, man. I'm glad you brought that up. So just kind of like, it's not the trust issue, it's just that other thing that's always on your mind, like I never want to
Yep.
be labeled as that.
Yep.
So, man, um I would really like there to be just much more talk about this. I
Most definitely.
really, really would, man. Just like when we started this, just like I said, a story comes out and it's like, oh man, that's sick, that's nasty. That guy or that girl, they should burn in hell, lock them up and throw away the key, whatever. And then that's it. It just fades away. And
You're
most
right.
likely this person gets out in a few years. And that's, let me see, Vince, does your kids know what happened? You want to answer that right there, Vince?
Yeah. I've told my kids. My eldest son. I told him years ago, right? When he was little, I told him, and because you have those conversations with your kids, right? If anybody ever makes you feel pressured or anything, come and tell me. And I was really up on that stuff because of what happened to me. So yeah, they knew about it, and when my son informed me of what happened, I took it really hard, and And then my son had called me back later on that evening after they met with the investigator, and he's like, "Dad, I just want to just check on you." And I said, I'm okay. I'm all right. Because I know you took it really hard, but I just because I relived everything, and I think the reason he did check up on me because he knew what I experienced before as a child. So and to know that my grandson had to go through that. But I said, it's not your job to check on me. It's my job to check on you. And that even hurt even worse. But
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
I told, I did, I don't go telling everybody, hey, Denise, don't worry about it, girlfriend. Hey,
right.
Denise. Hey, man, that's why we're all here, Denise. That's why we're all here. And it has happened. And more people have reached out to me since I came out and I first told my story on this. I think I've had about 11, maybe 12 people reach out to me and say, this has happened to me too. This has happened to me too. And I've talked to them more on a personal level, not every single one of them, but I've talked to them, a few of them on a personal level. And that's, it all good, Denise, all good, girlfriend. That's why we're here.
Yeah.
Vince, I told my beautiful, crazy local wife, right? And I told my oldest son, um, when was it? I think it was 2020. I think it was like the summer of 2020 that I told my oldest son, man. Or was it last year? No, no, no. No, it was the year of 2020. It was the year of 2020. Um, I told him, we were in the living room, and I told him, what had happened to me, and I told him, um, because I always, because of that, I was always very cautious. They're a little bit older now, but when they were little kids, man, and they would tell you this, I was always on them, man, always on them, like, hey, no secrets. If any adult tells you of a man, there's a secret, tell me if anybody touches you or does this or does that. I kept it kiddish talk, right? Anything like this, that, whatever. Or if they tell you, like, hey, if you say anything, I'm gonna hurt you, or I'm gonna hurt your family, or your dad or your mom's gonna die, or if anything, they're lying. They are lying. That's not true. All you gotta do is tell me. Okay, but you
Yep.
gotta tell me. And don't be scared, because you'll never see them again. Okay,
Right.
they're lying, I'm not. Okay, I was always on them about that. That being said, I want to make it clear, man. Yes, be on your kids on that, but at the same time, make sure you don't push your kids to the point where they make up a story.
Right.
Because that's, man, that would be bad, man. That would be
You're right.
bad. And at a time, I look back and I was like, man, you know what? I better lay off a little bit. I think I'm on this too much. Okay, so let me take a few steps back. Let me still talk to them about it, and things of that nature, right? But I think I'm on them a little too much, to the point where they're gonna get fed up and they're gonna say, fine, Dad, you know what? The teacher did this to me, right? And now that's
Yeah,
just
you're
gonna make
right. Right.
boom, so it's not, don't overdo it. Let's not overdo it. Kids are kids. Okay, it doesn't make them a bad kid, or they're freaking little liars trying to get somebody in trouble. No, but kids are kids, man, and they can definitely make up a
You're right.
story. So don't
Yeah.
push them too far where you're just on top of them about this all the time, but definitely have conversations, um, to their age, and educate them on it, man. Let me see. They don't deserve to be there. People touch little kids. Well, people can turn you on. Wonder, Ben, you don't know what happened. It's crazy. You fight for your life against the time. Well, I've I've kind of put it like this. Okay, that would be messed up if a person makes up a story. Definitely, that's what I'm saying. Let's not overdo it with our kids, trying to, because they might start taking it like, yeah, maybe they want this to happen so they can do something. I'll just make up a story. So I did take a couple of steps back, man. That's good, Cholo, to tell your kids like that. Yeah, and I did tell my oldest one. My youngest one knows now too. Um, so my kids know. My beautiful, crazy, loca wife knows, and yeah, that's basically all. I mean, I'm not keeping it a secret from anybody. If anybody asks me or whatever, my family, till like I said, till this day, my family that actually knows, they've never brought it up. Never. Once it was
Right.
over, once it was found out and it was over, it was over. Conversations were over, everything was over. And Vince, you already know, man. You're just left there by yourself, just to just go crazy and nuts, man, by yourself.
Yep.
And
With your
that ain't
thoughts, you're right.
yeah. So you know what, Vince, as sad as it is for your grandson, man, it's I don't want to put it like this, but this devilish act, there is a blessing because he's got you. He's got
You're
you,
right.
and he's got it. He's got his family, and I think something. We could take this dark, huge negative thing, man, and you got the power, Vince. Your family's got the power, man, with all the support to turn it around. And I think he's gonna be a great. I think he's gonna grow up to be a great man. I believe he's gonna grow up to be a great man, knowing you and just the support that you guys are gonna give him. I truly believe he's gonna grow up to be a great man, Vince. So okay, there's no joke. You got an evil ex. Cool. Brainwash you to think about that. That's my boy. Yes, there is people that make shit up, and that hurts, man. Yeah, definitely, definitely.
Yeah.
So it's
I
emotional.
actually knew a situation like that firsthand, where that had happened uh, to a guy that I knew. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't really know him that well, but yeah, it was. If you want to speak on it, I can speak on it real quick, but we
Yeah,
can
go
save it
for
for
it,
another
man.
time.
No, no, go for it.
So my my ex-wife. See if you guys could follow me along here. My ex-wife's ex-husband, you got that? Had
Mm-hmm.
a prior relationship where he had a child, and his ex-wife remarried, and now he's got this little girl that he's raising. The guy's raising. She's probably about 12 years old, maybe at the time, and she made accusations against her stepdad. The stepdad has only loved her and did everything for her, right? This poor guy,
Mm-hmm.
man. They were buying a home. They had vehicles. He gets arrested. He loses his job. Uh, uh, they end up losing the house. They lost the vehicles, and because he was in jail probably like 3 months, maybe. And then it came out, and the reason the little girl did is because she wanted to know if her real dad really loved her, and she stated some bad things like that on that guy. And the guy got back out. He got back with his family, and he tried to tell the ex-wife, I would never have done that in the first place, but I only love you more because you protected your daughter by thinking that if I did do something, you're sticking with your child, and they're still together this today, and that was
Wow,
probably 25 years ago, and he's forgiven the little girl. To him, it's still his daughter. But it does happen. It does happen.
wow,
Yeah,
wow. The fact that they're still together, man, that's
yeah, they're still
crazy, man.
together. Yeah,
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 appreciate.
it's crazy.
Yeah. Wow, man. Well, Vince, gracias, brother, for coming on here and chopping it up with me
Hey,
and sharing your story and what's happening with your family right now, man. It's got to be rough,
right.
brother. But, gracias
Hey,
for
brother,
coming
and,
on.
and I appreciate you. I appreciate you very much. I appreciate everybody out there. Thanks for listening. We got to make a change somewhere. Let's be proactive instead of staying silent. It's better that we talk about it. And I appreciate you and your platform 100%, man. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, look, if we stay quiet, then everyone's gonna stay quiet, and people are just gonna act like this doesn't happen, and
Right,
like it's not an issue, but it definitely is an issue. It definitely happens, and like we've noted earlier, a lot of times it's family members that do it, so it brings a lot of shame to the family, and it brings shame to oneself, even no matter how much people say, oh, don't be ashamed of it, don't be ashamed of it, it's still not a very prideful thing to come on here and say that another guy molested you. That's still not a prideful thing, so I
right,
definitely understand it's hard to talk about. All that being said, you be that strong person and you can come out, and it can definitely make a difference to somebody who's really struggling with it, who probably didn't have anybody to talk to, and they're probably in their teens, 20s, 30s, whatever it may be, possibly even contemplating suicide, and just chopping it up. And for somebody to say, no, you don't get it. No, Vince gets it. I get it. And there's many other people out there that get it as well. It's just putting it out there forward. So, with that, Vince, gracias, brother. And, blessings go out to you and your family, man. And you're a great man. You're a man of many traits, Vince. I'll tell
right,
you. You're just, man, I'll tell you, dog. You're a man of many traits. But, Vince,
right.
hey, shouts to everybody on the chat. I will continue. I'm going to stay good on my word, and I will talk about this at least once a month. So, anybody that's out there that wants to chop it up and talk it out, man, you guys know you guys can reach me. My email is in the description of all of my videos. So just reach out to me and we'll make it happen. But with that, gracias everybody, man, for coming on here and spending a little bit of time with us this evening on this subject that we need more light on. We need more light on. So Vince, gracias, brother. You're a real one. Already know that,
Thank
big
you.
dog. So hey,
All
man,
right,
I'll
man.
catch you
Talk to
on
you
the next
soon.
one. Everybody be good. As always, live your life like you're on the road. Be aware of your surroundings and always keep a safe distance. Blood makes you related, but loyalty makes you family. Until next time, this is Ed the Total Trucker from my man Vince, the man of many traits. Over and out.
See you guys.